something I've known for a while but haven't made a video about is that many of us have Ahab and Jezebel parents, and we can deal with different entities, different demons, and some of us don't deal with other familiar spirits. Of course, we see these in our daily lives, but in my instance, when I moved 100 miles away, then Paul was waiting for me, as well as his cousins and other scammers, and they were all like the army that worked together against me. It sounds ridiculous, but they hit me where it hurts. And God will restore me and will vindicate me, and there will be vengeance. Vengeance is the Lord's, but that doesn't mean that we don't have to do anything. That's what I mean. I might have to take action, honestly. I'm thinking that I do, and the outcome of that is fully determined by God anyways, but faith without works is dead, I suppose. I mean, and that's not really that applicable here, but I just don't know if I don't do anything, if it'll play out the way it's supposed to. But anyways, both of my parents were aware of Paul. They knew who he was. And one of my parents actually kind of like is in the middle and tries to hover back and forth, will never side with me, but in some strange way, like, doesn't want me to be completely destroyed, will even try to allude to or give warnings, and to the extent that they are allowed to. So, my mother being Jezebel, she knew who Paul was. I had driven her to my new house for her to come see it once, and this is before I moved in, but I was going back and forth a few times. My roof was supposed to be on, and I was going to get a water filter installed before I moved in, and then I'd have to start moving some stuff and then bring the dogs. So I had not moved in yet, but I was going back and forth at this point once a week, and I was also meeting with Paul. So as soon as we arrived, I pull in the driveway and I stop. And then my mom hops out of the car. Paul is further up the driveway waiting. He was waiting for me to arrive. He was already there. And so my mother hops out of the car, and she ignores me. You know how they do, like the devaluation demon. Jezebel is also like this. So I'm used to it. It doesn't bother me. But she hopped out of the car, and it starts going up the hill, and then immediately, like, I don't know, she's like saying hello and like greeting Paul, and it looked like she was trying to show off, or you know how Jezebels do. But now that I'm thinking about it, she knew who he was. Like, as soon as we got there, she stopped looking at me, stopped talking to me, hopped out, and then went to him. And actually, the whole car ride, she was trying to stress me out. Like, oh, keep your eye on the road. What are you doing? Like this the whole time, trying to make me have an accident. But anyways, as soon as we got there, then she completely ignored me and then hopped out of the car and ran up to Paul. My father also knew who Paul was. Now, him working for the Kingdom of Darkness is unable to actually tell me everything, but he did say a few hints. Like, a couple of times he said, well, you don't need to do everything right away. This is something he said. Another thing he said is, maybe you should wait to put the roof on. Or you don't need to get the roof on right away. Okay, now I understand. He knew who Paul was, and he was trying to warn me to the extent that he was allowed to, because he always has to side with the Kingdom of Darkness. He has an allegiance with them, and he's on their team. But at the same time, if I fall, then that looks bad to him. Like, it looks like he failed as a father, as a king. So, I gotta go blow my nose and be back. Oh, shoot. Right back. Ahab is not as evil as Jezebel, and in some ways does root for the chosen one a little bit. Now they're not allowed to do much, because it either has to look like they're against the chosen one or they're neutral. So what Ahab will do in this situation is pretend that he's on my side and that I trust him. So they want me to trust him, because once I'm no longer talking to any of the other spirits, then they can still get information through Ahab, who does help. So Ahab will help, will buy food, will take you out to dinner if you see him or something like that, and lent me the money for this home, which was supposed to be, I was supposed to have the money to pay him back in like 2 months. But then the narc is still living in the house and never sold it. And then moved my children in there too, so that if I try to press to get the house sold, then the kids will be homeless and they'll hate me even more. So you see, I kind of left it alone. So now, I guess it doesn't really matter. Like, I was supposed to borrow the money from my father for like 2 months until the house was sold, and then he could be paid back. But instead, what happened is the narcissist never sold the house, is still living in the house, and moved both of my children back into the house. Even though both of my children are over 18 now. So, I guess, this is the same either way, except for my father's out the money. My father's out the money. Because, either way, I borrowed the money, to buy this house, and my father's not getting the money back, because the money was supposed to come from the sale of the house that the narc and my daughters are living at. And my father kind of probably likes the situation a little bit, because it's pretty close to his house, so he can still visit the kids, I guess. But Ahab, if I was to be destroyed, that would make him look bad to the rest of the family. And when he comes and loans me money, that makes him look like the hero and like he's wealthy and he's in control and in charge. And he wants to look like the hero. That's the thing about Ahab, is he wants to look like the hero. And when you have a good idea, he kind of dismisses it, ignores it, or pretends not to understand. So this is what Ahab will do. And actually, I understand the personality differences between the spirit, because the devaluation serpent Nephilim is the one that will actually treat waitstaff really well, and then ignore you. So we'll talk to the bum on the street and give them stuff, and then they'll ignore you. Or they'll act like the bum on the street is better than you are, as their spouse. And I'm saying this honestly, like, some people are poor and they're homeless. I'm actually talking about people that are alcoholics, and there's a shelter they could go to, but the shelter doesn't allow you to go if you're on drugs. So that's why they're sleeping on the street. And the serpent Nephilim will act like that person is better than you. And they will actually put you in a situation where you could get in trouble with the law in order to help them. Okay, but Ahab is different. Ahab will actually talk down to the wait staff and servers and help. This is something I really noticed. It became more and more apparent. Things I've noticed over the year where they say about covert narcissism. Ahab is a covert narcissist. So covert, actually, that I thought he was my biggest hero. I thought he was the one who loved me more than anyone else. And that's the funny thing, is maybe he does love me a little bit. Actually, I'm thinking maybe he does. Or maybe it's something else. I don't know. But no matter what Jezebel does, then he wants to help Jezebel. And Jezebel can do no wrong in Ahab's eyes. And it's so weird, because Ahab has to work with the kingdom of darkness, and he's not allowed to come out and expressly state the whole situation and don't do this, but he can make allusions to things. Like, maybe you shouldn't put on your roof right now, because he already knew Paul was down here waiting. They all knew. They were all working together. And I know that Paul is not a normal human named Paul. As a chosen one, everyone we interact with, it's all planned. And I'm not talking about you go to the store and walk past somebody. This is somebody that was waiting for me as soon as I moved, that I worked with for several months. So, this is a part of my life plan. The first person that I'm really dealing with in a new town, whose name is Paul, this whole time it was an elaborate setup to destroy my new house. If I had met any random person off the street named Paul, would they have tried to break my plumbing and my roof and steal my money? And then refer me to criminals that look like they had a legitimate business with refuse? Because no, normal people named Paul don't do that. I know who I'm dealing with now. And it's the strangest thing. Like, it was all revealed to me. And it's like, I didn't see spiritually who he was for the duration of this. And it was intentional. And this is what God did. As I went through this whole time, things about his personality I did not like. Things about his personality I did like. Actually, he wasn't all bad. And that's what I'm saying. If he was all bad, then I would have continued to work with him. Now, it could have been a lot better. But I had to go through this and not know who he was. So God could show me how Paul operates and what he does. And how he was able to trick and fool people. And so then at the end, after I've been betrayed, then the veil is lifted and I see the truth. And we are no longer able to contact each other. And it's almost like they disappear, and these are just like bots that come into my life for a short period of time, then they're gone, and they just disappear. And they don't even really exist, I don't know. But I know where he lives. I know where he lives. And I know where my ex-narc lives. And I know where they all live. And I'm trusting God. But if I didn't believe in God, then I could get my own vengeance. And then the rest of my life I'd probably be locked up. So I'm not stupid. But I know that with everything that happens, it's so weird that God is going to sort this out somehow. But that's a weird thing about Ahab. Like, he actually doesn't want me. He doesn't want me to fail. He's not really allowed to help me. And when he tried to help me a little bit, or he lent me the money for the house, then the whole kingdom of darkness gets on him and attacks him. This is a whole thing, because if any of Ahab's daughters, get destroyed or destitute or homeless or something, that can't be allowed, because that's going to make him look like a failure. So that's not allowed. He can't let any of his daughters be failures. That's a poor reflection on him and how powerful he is if he's unable to save them. And he's not actually allowed to do certain things. So he lent me the money for the house, but then my daughters and everyone over there attacked him. They attacked him, like, how'd you lend money for her? Look, you gave her all this money. How'd you do that for her? How could you do that for her? And so because of that, he had to use the rest of his retirement to lend money to my sister. So they would finally leave him alone. And that's the thing about Ahab. He's totally compromised. And actually, I don't think he doesn't want me to be destroyed. I know that'd be a poor reflection on him. Is there real love there or not? I don't know. I really don't know. Because it's like as soon as I had children, then he didn't really seem to care about me. And then he started working on them. So I don't know. I don't know. But I am thankful. I am thankful he actually has helped me. He has helped me, and it's a part of their plan, too, because now I'm not talking to any of them, but I will still talk to my father when he calls. So he tries to get information out of me. He kept trying to press to get information about my roof, like over and over and over again. I wouldn't tell him anything. So he was trying to get that information. He'd get really angry when I didn't tell him. So I know that's what's going on. And then, some months ago when he called, I said, I know you don't trust me. And it's like, no, I don't. But I didn't say that, I said, no, if I tell you something, they bug your phone. If I tell you something, then it just gets back to them. We put spyware on the phones and computers and stuff, But, yeah, he could be watching this, but he's not very technical, so I kind of doubt it. Anyways, yeah, I did deal with the real Paul, as I said before, because everything that happened, it's supernatural. This was already set up and waiting for me. And the way that my mom greeted him, they knew each other. They knew each other. I'm used to her hopping out and ignoring me and then going to greet someone else. But it looked like they knew each other. I understand how this stuff works now. And my father was giving me warnings from the very beginning. And it would have just been a comment at first. But now, looking back, I know what he was doing. He was trying to warn me as best as he could. And then I wouldn't tell him what had happened to my roof. And he's like, you lost the money, didn't you? You lost the money, didn't you? He's saying this because he knew what the plan was. But he always has to side with the kingdom of darkness, whether he really wants to be on all of their side or not. Anyways, no matter what ridiculous thing Jezebel does, and no matter how good of a thing I do, he will always side with Jezebel. And the children as well, so, it doesn't really matter if there's real love or not at this point. Okay, thanks for watching.